I can't either. I mean, legitimately, I only watched the fights. I have never actually watched the series from start to finish.
And just let you guys know, I'm now recording, like, right now.
I feel like shit,
really?
I just started.
I feel like a little lacking in this because I haven't like actually studied Dragon Ball Z for like a long ass time. The only topic I can think of that's actually like a serious debatable topic is why does Chaozu exist? Nothing. That's all he did.
Well, okay, wait. Okay, okay. Well, just to start off, hi, I'm Frostbite.
I'm Code Black.
I'm Topsy Hatley.
And we are now discussing Dragon Ball Z, just for the fuck of it.
Why did Chaozu die?
Okay,
Wait, make up your mind, man. Are we trying to talk about why he exists or why did he die?
No, he died for nothing. Why did he exist?
Well,
he's part of the original Z Fighters.
Well, no, he even dates back to the original Dragon Ball.
Oh, shit. What?
Back before they even... Oh, yeah, no. Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, all of them date back to the original Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
And honestly, like, I don't know. I really don't think they had any plans for, like, a Dragon Ball Z. I really thought they were just going to stop with Dragon Ball, but I guess it just hit such high popularity that Dragon Ball Z became inevitable in Japan. So as far as like Chaozu goes in Dragon Ball, now I'm just going to say this right now, I've only seen very little of Dragon Ball. I didn't grow up with it. I didn't like it as a kid, because as a kid all I wanted was action. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what we all wanted as a kid anyways.
I wasn't a real big watcher of Dragon Ball either. I mean, this isn't even really a serious topic. I was just bitching, just being weird.
Well, I mean, just to get it out of the way, because I feel like I can describe it. Because Tien was part of the Red Ribbon Army, I believe. Not like, well, actually, yeah, just plain and simple as that. It was either that or he was hired by that little blue guy. It's one of those. And Chaozu was basically supposed to be like a turning point for Tien, where he goes from being evil as part of the Red Ribbon Army to actually being a good person. I don't know how Chaozu dies in Dragon Ball. Maybe it was because of the Red Ribbon Army and that it helped Tien open his eyes to what really was going on, and then when they brought him back to life, he found a good nature with the rest of the world. That's what Chaozu was for in Dragon Ball, or at least that's that's what I comprehend anyways from what I have little seen. As far as DBZ goes, he's completely worthless.
No, did he die in Dragon Ball?
Yes, he did. That's why when he fought up against Nappa, when he self-destructed, they said they couldn't wish him back because they've already wished him back once before, and that was back in Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay. See, I never saw that.
Yeah. Well, and see, I knew that just because, like I said, well, for one thing, I mean, they make mention to it in the Dragon Ball Z that he already got wished once before. They can't do it a second time. They do it in the abridged series, which they do it quite humorously at that point. Just, we can't wish you back a second time. Just, wait, what? But, no, he actually does die in Dragon Ball, and I really think it is because of the Red Ribbon Army, and that's where he comes in, that's where his character is important to the story. But like I said, as far as DBZ goes, he's completely worthless. He's just something that they want to throw in because all the girls could be like, "Aw, cute."
Well, actually, this is my basis on it, because the more I've watched Dragon Ball Z, this is the kind of the evolution you'll watch the show go through. But at the beginning of the show, when they actually do have the Z Fighters in a group, the Z Fighters are actually somewhat coherent in combat. They're actually somewhat able to stand their own. Obviously not against guys like Nappa and Vegeta, because that's when they decide to take this whole U-turn and make,
only the Saiyans strong.
Only the Saiyans are strong. But as far as human standpoint goes, Tien, Yamcha, and all those guys, they're actually
and Hercule
strong. Like, ridiculously strong. But before, like I said before that this got to this point, all these guys were just part of a group known as the Z Fighters, where they were all, pretty close in combat. In fact, I can't remember, I think it's Tien actually does beat Goku in the World Tournament in Dragon Ball.
God, I actually watched that fight, and he doesn't.
What? No, yeah, he gets close.
No, okay, let me rephrase that. They go against each other twice in two separate World Tournaments. he does beat Goku in the first one, I believe.
Yeah, and then in the second
but
one...
then, and in the second one, Goku actually does beat him.
Because he actually ends up going on to beat Piccolo's father, Piccolo, what is it, Senior? I can't remember.
King Piccolo.
King Piccolo, wow, I can't believe I just called him Piccolo Senior. But, so he goes on to defeat him at the end of Dragon Ball, because that's what opens the door for Piccolo to come. No, actually, no. He defeats King Piccolo pretty early in the series.
He defeats King Piccolo pretty early, and then Piccolo looks to just do complete world domination like King Piccolo did, because there are tournaments where Piccolo and Goku do fight one another, and that's the one where Piccolo does the shot that goes through Goku's chest that almost kills him.
Yeah, it doesn't kill him, because he's around, and he's able to be wished back, so there you go. And then, let's see. So anyway, like I was saying, so the Z Fighters were actually coherent. They were actually able to stay on their own. Yamcha comes very close to defeating a Cyberman, as we all know, and then gets blown up, killed, whatever. And it's easy to think, in the long term of things, that they are weak and pathetic, because they do actually end up becoming that way. But at the beginning of the series, before they decide to have this huge, one super powerful guy, Goku, and then like super powerful race of like just the Saiyans, like you said, where only the Saiyans are able to stand their own in combat. Everybody else is just kind of support. But them being the original Z Fighters, they were pretty good. And then the Vegeta, when Vegeta lands on the planet, that's the turning point, obviously, because Nappa beats the shit out of everybody, even including Gohan. So.
The other thing about that is though, that they're not exactly worthless. They don't turn out to be worthless people that just don't fight anymore, and they're not just support. Because, I mean, you can look at the Cell Saga. If it actually wasn't for Yamcha, Tien, and, even Krillin, at that point, then Gohan wouldn't have been able to have that open chance.
Yeah, well, they were distracting him on the side.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Okay, that can be debatable.
Well, because Vegeta was the one who actually caused the distraction.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing that makes it so debatable, because you could debate it either way. You could say that Cell would have finished Gohan off earlier if it wasn't for the fact that all these guys, even though it didn't like fully distract him like Vegeta did, it was still a distraction. He saw them as mere insects, but it still distracted him in order to like do shockwaves to send him back. That still takes some not a lot as far as Cell goes, but at least something. And you could argue that doing that, even that as a mind distraction, is what kept the Kamehameha waves interlocked this whole entire time and kept him from overpowering Gohan the whole entire way.
Yeah, he should have flatlined, annihilated Gohan.
So that can be debated, but it can also be seen the other way as, no, it was full interlocked, and it was only Vegeta that helped them out, and the rest were completely and utterly pointless. They were just there to showcase how, just to get to hell. Which I guess you could also debate that another way on their usefulness is what? Well, no, I even take that back, because he went Super Saiyan 2 because of an android, not because of his friend.
Yeah, dude, Gohan didn't even give a shit. Like, I mean, okay, he did. He did care that, like, his dad and everybody was getting borderline killed. But the thing that pushes him over the edge is the android.
Yeah.
And like I said in the Budokai walkthrough that we did when it was with James and Cruz, is that the writers made a mistake, because he goes into Super Saiyan 2 right at the end of that episode, and the beginning of the next episode, he's back in Super Saiyan 1.
Yeah, and he doesn't go again.
And he goes through it again and actually hits it this time because of his friends getting beaten. This time it's not because of the android. And, that in itself is another debatable topic. We'll get to that one another day or something. Yeah. Funny, we all started this off by discussing Chatsu's use.
Chatsu just spins off into this crazy, ridiculous...
Well, fuck it. I might as well bring it up anyways, because I know I'm going to forget. But cyborgs are basically robots that look like humans, or is that androids? No, that's an android.
Yeah, androids.
Androids are robots made to look like humans, and cyborgs are humans with with like machine components.
Yeah, modification.
So think about it like this: out of a lot of them, I'm mainly comparing Android 16, 17, 18 here. only Android 18 is an actual android, because 16 and 17 are humans that got turned into robots. They're actually cyborgs. So the fact that they're actually called androids 17 and 18 is actually false, because they're really cyborgs instead, which is like a really small thing, but it kind of bugged me.
Really? What? Are you sure about that? Because when 16 gets blasted, dude, he turns into nothing but robotic parts.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's what I just said. 16 is an android.
Oh, okay.
Which an android is a full robot just made to look like a human.
Well,
Okay.
see, that's kind of weird too, because what is Dragon Ball Z or Funimation or whatever? What are they actually considering to be androids? Because they called Cell an android too.
Yeah, and Cell wasn't even like robotic at all. Like,
yeah, he was more, yeah.
I think it's more just the name. I think it was just the name that was slapped on because
the funny.
That's what Jiro called them, was androids.
Yeah, and see, the funny thing is that in the Japanese version, they're actually called cyborgs instead.
Wow.
All of them are called cyborgs. So both the Japanese and the English version messed it up.
So what are they actually, aliens?
It's like okay. Obviously, the first three have somewhat relations to actual androids. Like we said,
Cyborgs.
16 and 17 are like the closest you get
Cyborgs.
to cyborgs. There you go. 18's more of the human-like one. Well, she ends up living. 17 and 18 end up living human lives.
Yeah.
Cell
I still don't
isn't even close to like an android. He is a alien life form. Like he's biogenetically created through combining.
So technically, because they call him Android 20.
Yeah.
Not 20. Wait, is he 20?
No, he's 21.
He's 21. Android 21. He really should be called biochemical 21.
Yeah,
biomechanical.
Biomechanical, because that's
not even mechanical. Is there anything even machine about him?
No, nothing
Android
at all.
denotes him to be, but he's not even.
Because he can undergo transformation.
Like a biological android, then it would be biomechanical. But because he's not even an android in any way physically, then he can't even be called that. He's just a biogenetic mutation.
Yeah, he's bioengineered. That's all he is. Like he's just an
But also remember the fact that he also has to absorb cyborgs 17, 18. Yes, I'm going to call them cyborgs from now on because that's what they really are. Does that technically mean that when he absorbs them and gets their robotic things added to him, does that still just make him biomechanical, or does that make him a half biomechanical, half cyborg?
No, see, I look at it as the fact that he didn't need to absorb them because he needed their mechanical parts or this or that or whatever.
He needed their extract.
Yeah, he needed their extract. It needs their energy because they can't move as just being robots. They have to have some kind of energy to make them move.
And the reason why he picked the androids over, and he even says this, the reason why nobody else's energy will do is because when Piccolo, let's say when Piccolo fights 17, as the fight goes on, obviously the androids don't get weaker. They don't ever lose energy.
Because their energy is always constantly moving.
And that's what he needs. That's the kind of extract that he needs to evolve as a species. I guess you could make a point that if he were to actually absorb, because he absorbs a ton of people and never changes at all.
Yeah.
But he does it through a different method. He stabs people in the beginning and then has to suck up the androids.
He's stabbing them because he's feeding.
Yeah, there you go. He's not even
it sucks out their life energy.
Yeah. The other thing that I was going to bring up too is Jiro's the second in command at the time when they were introduced. The fat one, was that 19?
Yeah, 19.
Yes.
Okay, now why didn't Cell have to absorb that one too?
Because I think 19 was also like 16, just a full android.
Well, then why?
I really think that the only two of all the androids that were really cyborgs was 17 and 18. And I think they explained this in the show too. Whenever Cell tried to absorb energy from 16, he couldn't because 16 is full machine, whereas 17 and 18 have some human retrospects that is able to be absorbed.
Yeah, there you go. Because you're right. He has no way of absorbing 16. And even if he did, I don't even think it would help him at all because
make him fat.
And plus, 19 was made way before 17, 18, 16 were even thought of.
That is true, yeah.
And that he didn't. I don't know why, because there's got to be this weird suspicion that Dr. Gero must have had some sort of idea that 17 and 18 were going to turn on him, because that's another question. With the thought of 17, 18 turning on him, it brings into the thought, was his creation of Cell, Android Biomechanical 21, whatever, did he start working on Cell before or after the creations of 17 and 18? You know,
the creation of Cell after 18 and 17 and 18 because he needed the defense, wasn't that it?
Yeah, I think in actuality, Cell is meant to be his answer to the. Well, of course, he had the self-destruct button, but.
Well, actually, no. It would have to be made after as a self-defense against Android 17, 18, because remember, Cell comes from the future, and in the present time, there is no Cell. There is only the Cell from the future, because the Cell in the present hasn't been made up yet. That would prove that he was made afterwards as some kind of self-defense mechanism.
No, actually, there is a Cell in that.
Oh, wait, yeah, there is.
Baby form, like.
Yeah, and Trunks had to blow it up.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Didn't they actually explain in the show? I thought Gero explained that when he made 17 and 18, he couldn't trust them, and they were sort of a flawed development.
Yeah, so there you go.
So
he
created Cell to be the ultimate android, but he could not be the ultimate android until he had the other two androids' powers.
And the reason why they were a flaw is because all the other androids he's created were pure machine. This is the first time he ever created two cyborgs that were from humans that have the ability to think for themselves.
And he didn't trust that. Of course, I mean, I don't know how much more he could have trusted Cell, but at least.
But then here's the other thing though to think about, because he created Cell to absorb those two, so then it wouldn't have absorbed Gero.
No, I don't even know if it. You know, with the programming, I think he would have actually been more of a accomplice for Gero, because Cell talks very, very highly of Dr. Gero through the whole entire series.
Yeah. But then wait a minute. The other thing that could be questioned about it is that because Cell, like you said, he thinks very highly of Gero and would have been an accomplice of his, but he also says that all Gero ever talked about was that Cell's whole creation was to kill Goku. Was the absorption, and I guess the absorption of 17, 18 was to help him get to there. So maybe he didn't create Cell as a self-defense for against these two, just that he just created those two to be absorbed by Cell. Like it was like their creation was just for Cell, not in reverse. Not Cell's creation was to protect themselves from those two. Because if that would, could have, but again, if it was the case, why did it take so long for Cell to be awakened in the future if he was supposed to be a self-defense thing?
That is... I think... I'm trying to think of this, because the thing that sucks about talking about the timelines in DBZ
is that
they're all fucked. Like, because when Trunks comes back, he completely resets everything that was supposed to happen. Because obviously... the future was supposed to be a desolate wasteland that the androids ruled over. And then, for some reason, when Trunks goes back in time, it creates Cell. That's what creates Cell, is Trunks going back in time. That completely fucks up everything, because like he said, 17 and 18 dominated his timeline, like, to a point where nobody is alive. They killed Gohan, the whole 9 yards. All the Z fighters are dead. Goku dies of the heart virus, whatever. If I do remember correctly, I think it's from Trunks coming back, and Dr. Gero sees this, because you got to remember when he...
Oh, yeah, when he looks at him that way.
Yeah, because he remembers that. He's like, I haven't seen this one before. There's no date on him, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It throws this whole thing into motion where...
But wasn't Cell still in the middle of being created, though?
That is...
Because... You know, because like you brought up that I completely forgot, is that Trunks actually does blow up the area where Cell is currently being created, which means he would have already been started to be created. And then for this to be the case, after Gero seeing Trunks, he would have actually started to create Cell at that point. But who knows? Because, like you said, the problem with talking about these is that there's so many time series to think about, to the point where the Cell that we saw from the future comes from not even Trunks' future. Because when Trunks goes back to his future, you see Cell already there, and he kills that Cell. It's the Cell from another future of another timeline that knows that he already got defeated by Trunks, so he uses that to go back to stop Trunks from doing that to him in the future, sort of thing. It's all sorts of fucked up.
Wow.
This is what we do on our off time. Oh man, I think we should do another discussion DBZ related. That's not this, because this one just got really blown into like all kinds of science and mythologies that I don't think I'm able to explain, or because I don't have any knowledge on it.
Okay, wait. I just thought of this.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So much mental strain.
I am seriously feeling it in my head, though, like all this thinking.
Okay. Trunks coming back in time actually had no effect on Cell at all. Because you got to remember something in every timeline, because the way Cell's created, Cell has to be made through the cells of Frieza, because Frieza's actually a part of Cell's creation. In every single timeline, Frieza comes to Earth, so it makes sense that Cell had their cells. The only difference is that in timelines, the first two timelines, because we'll say we have the past, present, future, whatever. In timelines 1 and 2, which is going to be past and present, this is all through Trunks' eyes, you got to remember this. Goku's the one who kills Frieza and his father when they come to Earth.
Yeah.
And in timeline, when he goes back, Trunks does it. And the only reason why and Trunks like pretty much throws into everything, because when Trunks comes back, he finds the blueprints for Android 17 in the basement right before him and Krillin blow it
up, yeah.
Which enables Bulma to create the activation remote that they're supposed to use on him, and blah 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 blah. In order for that basement, for Trunks to find the blueprints in the basement in Timeline 4, because he does find it in the future, the basement's existence would have only had to have been to be revealed by Cell. Like, it has to be... The existence would have to have been revealed by Cell, just like it was in the present. So there's even a possibility where there's an entirely different timeline where Cell comes from.
Yeah.
Like a fifth one. Like not even part of the 4 that are already there. Because like they said, when they change the past, it doesn't end up like Trunks' future.
Exactly.
So, it's so crazy how freaking crazy that topic can become. But basically, in all 3 timelines, because I'm looking at it right now in front of me, I have a page. The answer that they give is Cell was created the exact same way in all 3 timelines. In an incubation tank in the basement of Dr. Jiro's laboratory, which is great. I mean, that's exactly what we've all been saying.
Yes.
We'll say that timeline 1 is the furthest in the future, the one in which Cell came from in Trunks' time machine. The timeline in which Trunks destroyed the androids on his own, but was killed by Cell for his time machine. The second timeline which is the one that future Trunks came from, and then the third timeline is the present. Like, because the second one is where he comes to warn about the androids. So it says this. Timeline number 1, which is the one where he gets killed by Cell. Cell's incubation period is a little over 20 years, and an additional 4 years to come out of his larval form and become imperfect Cell. Timeline 1 is an unknown number of years in the future, but obviously further into the future than Timeline 2, which is only 20 years in the future. So therefore, Cell had time to be born, but when he was, the androids were gone thanks to Trunks, so he stole Trunks' time machine and came to Timeline 3. One who went to Timeline 3, which is the present. Cell was born the same way in Timeline 2, which is the one that he comes from, the one that Trunks comes from to warn about the androids. Cell's born the same way, but when he tried to steal Trunks' time machine, Trunks had already been to the present where he had grown stronger from the hyperbolic time chamber. So Trunks killed Cell. This is seen in the final episode of the Cell games when Trunks went back to his own time. Because you got to remember, Cell's got to come out in all three of them.
Yeah.
Because he's alive in all three. In the first timeline, when he actually beats Trunks, that gives him the ability to come to the third one. In the second timeline, when he tries to do that, he runs into the Trunks that has already gone back to the present. So he runs into the stronger Trunks, gets killed, wiped out.
And gets killed.
Too.
Yeah.
In timeline 3, the Cell was killed long before he even had a chance to be born.
Because they blew up the whole entire laboratory.
That's the scene in the anime just after Piccolo first fought in Perfect Cell, because he finds out who Cell is. Piccolo finds it out because he runs into Imperfect Cell and lives to tell about it. Had Krillin and Trunks not gone to Jiro's basement and killed his embryo, he would have been born during GT.
Okay.
Which is over 20 years. He still had 20 years to go. In every single one of those timelines, like I said, I already told you, Frieza comes to Earth, blah, 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 blah. That's basically it. So he is created in the exact same way, and he's alive in all three. But of course, the only question now is when, what was the point? I guess I'm trying to think if maybe he's supposed to be just an end-all, be-all creation.
Oh, are you talking about Cell?
Yeah.
The reason why
Jiro
he had,
him.
why did Jiro create him?
Yeah.
From what I know, Jiro mainly created Cell as just a final way to try and take out Goku. Because even back in the original Dragon Ball with the Red Ribbon Army, Goku was always there to stop them, and it would bug the Red Ribbon Army. And Dr. Gero was a part of that army. This whole entire thing, and that's the fascinating thing about the Android saga with Gero, is that he is actually from the original Dragon Ball. If you actually ever see him or not, I have no idea. But he's like one of the last people of the Red Ribbon Army, and his whole entire goal is really just to kill Goku. That's his whole goal, is to kill Goku so then nothing can stand in his way. Obviously, this was before he learned of all the other Saiyans around and all this other stuff that's going on. So Cell was mainly just created as a final thing to defeat Goku. And then Cell obviously had to go in the past to absorb 1718. Now here's my question. Was it that he just... Didn't Cell go to the past to absorb 1718 because he couldn't find 1718 in his future? Like, were they, destroyed each other some way? Or was it that he just couldn't find them and he didn't want to spend so long searching for them? Whereas when he went to the past where they were first created, it'd be easier for him to find them. Was that the whole entire purpose?
Okay, so you're saying that why did he come back in the timeline that he came back in?
Yeah, why did he go back in the first place? Because he went back in the first place to absorb 1718 to become perfect. That's his own main goal, to become perfect and to kill Goku. But I guess with the same pride cells in him, he wanted to go back just to become perfect. Goku had already died, but he also had the thing of wanting to become perfect. It even shows in Cell's future that he came from the little machine thing, Dr. Gero saying, you need to absorb Android 1718 to become perfect. And that's the whole entire reason why he goes into the past, is so he can absorb him to become perfect. Goku's like a side thing for him. But like I said, that's why I need to ask is, did he have to go back to the past in order to find them easier? Did they kill one another in his future? Because
Trunks is able to defeat the androids in the first timeline.
Oh, in the one that Cell first.
The reason it says the one that he comes from is the one where Trunks is able to defeat them, but ultimately loses to Cell because he has no idea who Cell is.
Okay.
He's caught off guard. That's exactly what it...
So they were... Okay, so that does give him a reason for going back to the past, because Trunks actually does kill them.
Yes, and then, because I remember it says, when Cell's talking about how he kills Trunks in the first timeline, he actually does say that he catches Trunks completely off guard. He has no idea.
And that makes sense, because then at the end of the Cell games, when Trunks actually goes to defeat him, you actually see Cell try to sneak up on him.
Yeah.
And he actually catches Cell off guard
and
this
time. Whoops his ass, but
easily.
We all know that. But yeah, that's the only reason why he goes back in the first timeline.
Okay, well at least we got that figured out. You want to say in this good old Topsy?
Yeah, come on, Topsy.
I'm working at it. You guys know so much more about DBZ than I do. I'm trying to hang on. You guys are getting into all these timelines and stuff, and I'm like, wow. I never, ever did this much research on DBZ. I love the show, but I never really looked at it.
When we were kids growing up, like DBZ was everything. I mean, we have card games of Dragon Ball Z still.
I have a limited, like, he's got a booster box of the card game, and I have a booster box of the card game. Like, we've done, like, DBZ is something that
we hold dear to our childhood.
It really is like the last link in my childhood that I still hold on to and hold very dear. And I think, you know, for me, like I said, I really didn't enjoy the show as much as a kid as I do now because you don't have that ability to see
to see what's really going. Yeah, you don't have the ability to see all of what's going on other than the action. Because as a kid, at least for me, exactly, as a kid, that's all I cared about was action. And now that I'm older and more appreciative of writing as opposed to action, it gives you a whole different perspective of everything you watch. Which another discussion we need to do some other time, James, is, you know, why Dragon Ball Z is a very underrated card game.
Yeah, I agree. I will have to go into that too.
But I'll say that'll be another time for when Topsy's not here because I doubt he even knows less about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bombard him with too much.
But to start off this one, I kind of want to hear Topsy's thought on this first, because this is one that you don't have to be an extreme nerd on. It depends on how you think about it. And this is one that, again, bugs a lot of people, and that is, why didn't Vegeta go Super Saiyan when Cell defeats Trunks? So technically, we're still in the going Super Saiyan 2. Yeah, thank you. Because technically, that's still keeping in the whole entire Android Cell game saga topic, but a different, more debatable question.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on, let me say that I gotta actually be leaving here in like 5 minutes or so. So just to let you know.
Oh well, damn.
Oh, but
we'll have to save it for like tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, we'll have to save it for some other time then, I guess.
I just wanted to ask you, like, what timeline is that in? Is that the present one, like the regular?
Yeah, that's the one where Goku dies trying to kill Cell. Blah blah blah. Comes back, super perfect Cell. It's the one that you see on the TV show, so it's the present.
He didn't kill Trunks, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he kills Trunks in the present timeline. Well, he borderline kills him.
Well, see, that's the thing. There's a big difference between that.
Well, what happens is like Cell comes back, and nobody's ready for it. Nobody even has a clue. He shoots through this dust cloud. Everybody can sense him.
Yeah, I remember this scene, and then it goes straight through Trunks' heart, pretty much.
Yeah, and basically, like I said, borderline kills him. As far as actually killing him, I don't think it actually has anything to do with him being well, I guess that is true. Shit. Now I can see exactly where you're coming from on this, too.
Yeah, that's, like I said, this is going to be something we're going to have to debate for tomorrow's episode.
But now that I got your idea on it, yeah, I'm ready. I know exactly what you're going to talk about, so I'm going to have to look into that and see, but I know where you're heading with this. Because it's going to be easy to debate that the reason why Gohan goes overboard is because Cell actually kills Android 16. And then in the other sense, Cell doesn't actually kill Trunks. He gets close. Because Trunks is alive at the end of the series.
Yeah, and technically my stance on it is going to be on a writer's stance as to why it didn't happen. So,
all right, well, we got multiple perspectives. Like, it's going to be awesome. So,
yeah, as far as the debate's going to go next time that we do this, I have my own opinions why it's perfectly acceptable that Gohan and Goku both change to whenever they change. Like, in the Frieza saga, when Goku changed to Super Saiyan 1 for the first time, and when Android 16 was stepped on pretty much by Cell, and then Gohan went... Wait, he went offline?
Did he?
Hello?
Did we lose James? Maybe.
We might have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's a problem with the call. It's probably that his computer just overheated. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. We'll just end it right there because you got stuff you need to do.
Unfortunately.
And then tomorrow we'll just pick up where we left off.
Yeah, if I can get on tomorrow, I should be able to. I don't have any school now, so it just comes down to workflow.
I was about to say, yeah, James probably has work. I'll just keep in contact with him and figure out when that is. And then, yeah, we can do another episode. And I'm gonna be making a channel for this shit.
Yeah, I wish I was a little more knowledgeable about DBZ. I'm like one of the conversation right now.
Yeah, well, like, we'll do multiple discussions, video game ones. We can even do one all about Zelda, which you'll pretty much dominate me and James on. But the DBZ ones we've always been wanting to do for a while, so yeah.
So I'm just sitting here like twiddling my thumbs. That makes sense. That makes sense.
At least you're learning. So now in future debates you can do that. Yeah, we just lost James in the drop call there. But anyways, I'm Frostbites.
I'm Top.
You are.
I'm Topsy Hadley.
Okay, fuck it. I'm Frostbites. He's Topsy Hadley. Code Black James dropped in the call, but this is going to be something new we're going to be doing, just doing random Skype call discussions. We hope you guys enjoy them for the hours it happens. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode.
Later.